It's been quite a morning. Oh man, I need some water. Sorry I was late. I'm so sorry. I always feel bad being late. Being late is such a disrespect of someone's time, but you know, it is a heat wave here and I did not have my air conditioning on and I needed to get it nice and cool in here before we got started because I do not like to sweat. Fun fact about me, when I work out, if I start sweating, I stop because I'm just disinterested in that. We have one. I really wish it would show me who's here, like who is watching, because it doesn't do that. And I really wish, so I could like call people and be like, hi, good morning, because no one's talking. Yoda, there's the goat. Round of applause. You remember that cheesy joke? Round of applause. I was just apologizing for being late, Yoda. Sorry. Still waking up here in Chicago. It is 9:15. I wanted to talk today about, more of what we do on Sundays here, Sunday service, bereavement, mindfulness, meditation, positivity, changing your life. I was listening to a YouTube before bed, and something that really stuck out to me is the belief of desire. When you are desiring something and you are telling yourself subconsciously, my life will be happy when, you're actually pushing that thing away. You're energetically, because you're idolizing the thing that you're desiring so much, because your energy is so in lack in the sense that your vibration is saying, I'm not complete until this person gives me what I need or what I want, whether it be money, the job, a husband giving you something, a partner that you're looking to date. Until you believe that you are fine and complete without that thing, you're pushing the thing away. So the theory in that, it's very Jerry Maguire, you complete me. It's the opposite of that. In that, I'm complete without you. Because when you are chasing the thing, again, you're reiterating to yourself that you aren't able to be whole without that. And it makes your vibration push you away from the thing that you're wanting, because the universe is like, no, bitch, you need to learn that you are great without that thing. So it's kind of a fascinating law. It's a great way to explain it. I've never heard it explained that way. And to me, it's the way I live my life. I mean, trust, I definitely crave a relationship. I definitely am looking for partnership. I definitely, I feel like every other bucket of my life I've kind of figured out. But I know from my healing journey that love and self-love is my biggest teacher. And I also have learned that I am meant to trigger people and people are meant to trigger me. And I think in life, being triggered is the greatest lesson. And you can't be triggered unless you're trying relationships. So I was recently seeing someone. He was in town from Europe visiting for work, and we just happenstance matched on, an app the day before he left. And I just immediately was like, when are we meeting? Which is not normal for me. Normally I'm not wanting to meet anybody. I never really called to meet anybody. But I was like, I need to meet you. He's from the country that my mom is from. And we ended up meeting, and it felt very comfortable for both of us very quickly. And when they left and flew out the next day, I thought okay, that was fun. We had a nice time, whatever. And they continued to pursue. And I never put energy into, I need this person, this has to work out, this relationship has to go somewhere. I wasn't idolizing the relationship. I wasn't putting pressure on myself that we had to figure it out. We did make future plans, they didn't happen. And that's when I knew that this wasn't going to go anywhere. And then a few weeks later they texted and apologized. But I wasn't like in the past, I as a Pisces woman, I would have been very fantasy and romantic, and I would have been, you know, very excited to have found connection. And this time, you know, the more that I've healed, the more I realized that like the connection is great. The energy between us was great, but I will be great with or without this person. Like if this person doesn't end up, there's going to be a better someone. And that's something that it took decades for me to really process, because I came from a household where my father was always like dangling a carrot. I'm writing a book right now, and I reference how when I remember to this day, I'll never forget it. I believe I was in the 5th grade. My father had been telling me like all school year, hey, you know, if you get straight A's, I'll give you $100 for your report card. And I was like, so good on my homework and my tests, and I was like really putting in my effort, and I got my report card in school, and I was so proud. I had A's, and I came home and I showed my dad, and I was like, Dad, look, I got A's on my report card. And he literally laughed in my face, and he went, oh, but they're not A pluses. That's who raised me. That's the male figure that little Lisa was programmed by. So then for decades, little Lisa kept looking for a man that treated her that way. And how do men treat her that way? Garbage, dumpster fires, right? So it took a reprogramming of my old systems in place to realize that's not appropriate. That's not a healthy relationship. That's not a stable, grounded man. That's not someone I should be attracted to. But because little Lisa had been conditioned in a way that I should be chasing after receiving and achieving a man's acceptance and praise, until I broke that, I wasn't able to have a healthy relationship, not only with another man, but with myself. And I think that that's so powerful of a thing. Like our relationships with our parents create the relationships that we have in our love relationships, our friendships, our work environment relationships. We become trained in such a way. I saw this analogy on a TikTok earlier too, where this like horse, this young pony was like grazing in a field, and this wolf came and attacked it. And at first the horse was like, okay, yeah, shook it off, no big deal, whatever. And then a couple days later, the horse is grazing in the field, and the mommy horse comes and she's like, don't eat the red flowers. When you eat the red flowers, a wolf will attack you. So then for years, the horse was so afraid that it was going to eat a red flower that it was constantly anxious, constantly nervous, constantly in fear. And I think that's what happens. We are programmed at a very young age subconsciously. Listen, I'm not blaming parents, even though it's their fault. I'm not blaming them, because there's no book to be a parent. No one teaches you really how to be a parent. All you can do is take from the experience that you had as a child, of like what you try to not do as a parent. And you also try to be, hopefully, a better version of your parents. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we're triggered, you know, whatever. I'm not a parent, so I can't speak on this. But I understand that what's in my environment when I'm younger is what I become as an adult. And I have free will of choice to then reprogram that in the future. But it's not as easy as just like meditating, writing affirmations, praying. Like you've literally been programmed. Like you actually have a routine in your mindset that is causing you to like repeat a routine or a habit that's inappropriate. That's something that's not healthy. And I think this is part of the manosphere right now, because I think a lot of men, I'm going to say something controversial right now. This is a hot take. I think a lot of men were berated by their moms. I think a lot of moms were not taken care of by their husbands and resentful and mean, and then were mean to their sons. And their sons became avoidance and started resenting women, or the mom left the family, or the mom cheated on the dad, or the mom divorced the dad, or the mom did something in a way that caused that man to resent women. And the manosphere has grown rapidly because there is a bucket of men who have been mistreated by their own mom that's caused them to not respect women. And it's not that they don't want love. I think every human on existence on this planet actually wants love, whether they say it out loud or not. I think that they are so shattered and hurt that they can't accept not only that they believe a woman will love them, but that they deserve the love a real woman could give them. So I post content on other platforms too, and I posted a video not looking for rage bait. I really was not trying to get onto the side of the app where people say derogatory things and attack me in the comment section and the video goes viral. That's really not what my intention was. My intention was trying to find women that could relate to the fact that it's really hard to find a handsome man that takes care of himself. Listen, handsome isn't Prince Charming. Handsome is a man that takes care of his aesthetic. He showers. His home is clean. He smells nice. I mean, I've heard so many horror stories from women going to men's apartments and the men don't have soap. Like, I know that there are men on this channel. All of you use soap, right? But then the woman will buy him soap and go to his apartment and go to take a shower and find that the soap hasn't been opened. And it's been like 2-3 weeks. Like, so handsome to me is a man that takes care of himself. Like, I like an outfit. I like to look put together. I like to have my hair brushed. I like to have my teeth nice and clean, fresh white. I like my skin to look moisturized. I think a lot of men have lost energy in self-care. So women aren't finding them attractive. So then the men are getting very upset that women aren't finding them attractive. I also saw my friend posted this week where a man, they had gone on a first date. It was a beautiful, lovely first date. And on the first date, they had a lot of fun and they laughed. And he ended up sending her a voice memo. And he was like, hey, I'd like to come over. For me, I like to know if the bang bang is going to be good. So like, I want to come over and bang bang because like, I don't want to continue seeing you if I don't know if the bang bang's good. And, you know, like I'm happy to come over, but if you don't want to bang bang, like I don't want to come over because like, what's the point for me? Like there's no real point. And I was like, this is how men are speaking to women right now. And I know that women are guilty of mistreatment of men. Women are bitter right now that they can't find a man that's polite and kind because the manosphere. So I understand that both sides are angry right now for different reasons, but I think the root is our parents. I think a lot of other women had daddy issues like me. I think a lot of men are dealing with mommy issues. And I think it's all coming out in the dating life. And then they're creating content or Netflix or movies that's perpetuating this issue. And everyone is feeling unloved and undesired and unwanted. And it's heartbreaking because I know deep down, all of us want to be loved. All of us. That is like the human existence in infinity. Like we all wish to be seen. We all wish to be heard. We all wish to be loved. And it's heartbreaking to me. So I, for the last few years, haven't been drinking. So I don't go to bars. So I'm not a part of the hookup culture. I've been celibate now for over 2 years. I only have intimacy in a serious relationship. And I think I'm in the minority. I understand that the women's revolution allowed women to have, you know, freedom of will and freedom with their sexuality and their body. And I commend that. Do what you'd like. Maybe one day I wake up and I become a hoe. I don't know. I had a hoe phase once in my life. I don't wish to go back. But I respect my vibration and my body and my vessel. I honor and I worship my body. I was at the gym earlier this week and this woman said something and she was talking about how she was gonna like eat this food. And I was like, I don't eat like that. I really like take care of my body. And she's like, oh, I love that. And I was like, yeah, I literally love my body. I worship her because this is the only thing, I have control over in the entire world. I have no control over the politics. I have no control over how people see or perceive me. I have no control over, how people treat me, if I trigger people. That's not in my control. But what I can control is what I feed my body, what I listen to, who I surround myself with, who I allow to sit close to me, right? Like your vibration is an arm's length away. So if you are an arm's length away from someone, you can feel their vibration. You can feel their energy. It leaks onto you. And if you are at a bar with an angry man who doesn't use soap and has mommy issues, do you think you're in the space to find a healthy quality man? No. So I don't go to bars anymore. I actually wouldn't want a partner that goes to bars. So why would I go to bars to find my partner? And you guys know Austin. I have Austin on my channel often. He was dating someone. They broke up, I want to say March. And it's June. And he's already found someone that he's got the gaga goo-goos for. And in the split second he told me, I was like, ugh. I was literally like, ugh. Because I was like, why not me? Why haven't I found someone, because it does take me a lot longer to find someone, but it's because I've worked on my vibration. It's because I've worked on my energy. I am now repulsed by men that don't have equal or somewhat equal energy vibrations to me, right? What I should be desiring is someone with a better vibration than me. There's very few of them, which is why it's taking me a long time to find a partner. Why it's taking me a long time to find someone that I want to share space with. But it's fascinating to me that I will post a piece of content that says it's hard for me to find someone that's handsome and intelligent, and I get 800 hate comments. I get 808 hate comments from men telling me that I'm 60, that I'm hideous, that no one will ever date me, that I'm gonna die alone a Catwoman. Like, I'm not trying to antagonize men. I'm not trying to belittle or put down men in any way. I'm men's biggest supporter, okay? If you go to any of my channels, I'm like cheering and rooting for the good guy. I'm not here out cheering for the losers, okay? The deadbeats, the like imitators, the performers that tell you at the bar that like, oh yeah, I'm looking for something serious. And then you go on a second date or whatever, and they hook up and they never talk to you again. Like, those are the performers. The men that like act so cool out in society, and then you go to their house and they don't even have furniture. Like, my girlfriend was dating a guy where his mattress is on the floor. I'm not sleeping with a man whose mattress is on the floor. It's not even on a head. Like, how do you not even have... I'm getting like way off tangent here. So I don't remember what I called today's YouTube. I don't remember. It was Bereavement. Yoda, can you remind me? I don't remember. No, John, I haven't been reading them. No. Thank you, Zeke. So let me go back. Do I even want to read these? I don't even know. Wow, you guys have lots to say. Wow, you guys have lots to say about this. Good morning, Chitano. Well, good evening for you, I think. 3 out of 3, Luke. Wow. Luke has been on all 3 of my platforms in like 1 week. Brava, Luke. Thank you, Yoda, for just giving them the smackdown. Let's see. Luke, I don't know if you saw my content. I've dated a few British men, and when I say a few, I mean 6. I haven't been very pleased with British men, so I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah. I mean, Saiba 578. I mean, I think your daughter moving out gives you an opportunity to work on yourself. You know, like I find bookstores and libraries to be one of the biggest portals to healing because there aren't distractions. It's very quiet. And you're forced to sit with your thoughts and you can literally just wander. Well, the bookstore isn't quiet, but the library is quiet. And you can just wander the shelves and look for books that like literally call to you. And you're not buying them, you're just sitting in the corner reading. And that means you don't have to read the whole book. It means you can skim, look at chapter titles, and just kind of start doing crafts and hobbies that, you know, maybe as a kid you used to play. You know, I don't know if you were like into drawing when you were younger or, you know, I don't know. My brothers always used to play soldiers where they would like go into the forest and I didn't have anybody else to play with. So I had to play soldiers too. And they like played army or whatever. So like, I know this is so cheesy to say, but like maybe like reenactments or like men's retreats in the woods where you like do survival type shit. I don't know, but like whatever you used to do. What is my channel about? So my channel is following me as a person growing and healing in society. I lost my mother in 2020, lost my brother on the same day in 2022 in front of me. They actually both died in front of me. And I'm a certified hypnotherapist, so I've reprogrammed my own subconscious mind. I had a very abandoning family, neglectful, the A word, and I grew up not safe or loved or cared for by my parents when I was younger, and I had very limiting beliefs that caused me to have dumpster fire relationships, not make a lot of money, and feel very low self-worth and self-love. And I became a certified hypnotherapist after using hypnosis to help heal myself. I had a lady, I actually had two women, Sheila Swenson, who's still active here in Chicago. She's who hypnotized me in my 20s when I had an eating disorder. And then I worked with Linda to get certified a few years later so that I could give back to humanity because I felt like so many of us are full circle, are programmed by our parents when we're younger unknowingly. I mean, they unknowingly give us this program database. And our cell phones are updated every couple months, but our mindsets aren't. Our subconscious programming is not. So we tend to stay in the same limiting beliefs that not only we had as kids, but highly likely that our parents had. So it's an ancestral lineage repeating. So my channel talks on this, talks about my life, talks about I have suffered extensively from gut issues. And I believe that's because I was born very intuitive and I ignored my gut. And by ignoring my gut, I've been very sick with gut health issues for years now. And I'm currently fighting off several bacteria infections growing in my body, molds as well as parasites. So I'm having to do a lot of elimination diets, taking herbs, tinctures, doing meditations, all that stuff to clear my body. Because for decades, I didn't trust myself. I didn't listen to my intuition. And a lot of times with dating, because it's such a clusterfuck, because you have this representation of a man who's your father, who's neglectful and abusive and mean and treats you terribly. And then you have, where was I going to go with that? Oh man, I can't. And then you have this low self-worth. So with dating, you tend to find the same men over and over again, but you don't want these men. They just remind you of this man, right? And you're like stuck in this hamster wheel. And I remember extensively sitting in therapy sessions with women and they would be like, Lisa, why do you keep doing this? Lisa, why do you keep doing this? And I would literally be like, because I don't know any different. I've never seen healthy. I don't know what healthy feels like. You would have to tell me. You would have to teach me. You would have to program me with healthy because I've never fucking seen it. And they didn't understand that. They couldn't comprehend that because they had, for the most part, probably a lot healthier environments. But when you've been battered, belittled in every sense, verbally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, when you've been put down by your own household for decades, trying to find a healthy partner is impossible. It's not possible, because I am not healthy. I do not love, well, I'm saying this in the past tense. Universe, that was in the past tense. I was not healthy. I was not loving self. So how would I be able to not only allow a man to love me the way I wish to be loved, but have boundaries to know when he wasn't treating me the way I wanted to be loved? So for the first 30 years of my life, like, I almost married someone who physically hurt me. Like, that's not what I deserve. That's not what any person in existence deserves, which is why I'm so adamant about how I feel love towards both genders. I'm not part of, a man-hater society. I feel huge empathy towards men, because I personally believe that my brother passed away because when our mom lost her life in 2020, he didn't have a safe and secure place to be emotional, to be soft, to be vulnerable, to talk about his emotions, to talk about his fears, to talk about how much pain he was having, because his stepfather, or his father, my stepfather, had never allowed him to have that safe space. So he was holding it all within, and he was turned into an alcoholic, and he drowned in front of me on the same day our mom had died. And in the ICU, his brothers would ask, "Where's his mom? Why isn't his mom here by his side?" For 2 years, he had lived a life not telling any of his friends that his mom had died. He didn't feel safe and vulnerable enough to tell his very close friends that his mom had died. That's heartbreaking to me. And that's when I realized that there was a bigger issue with dating than men just being jerks. Men had not been treated well in their childhoods, and it was, the ancestral lineage was like getting worse. Like, his father had been physically abused a lot, very much. They had lived on a farm, and he would near-death beatings, he would just be taken out. And so to my stepdad, these soft beatings, which to me were vulgar, like I would be screaming stop. I would be crying. My mother would be doing nothing. But I would be standing up. Yes, I ran away at 14. So it started around 10. But I remember 12 and 13, I was standing up to a 40-year-old man who was much larger than me, former military trained. And I was telling him, "Don't hit my brother like that," because he would just beat the crap out of him. And he couldn't be emotional. So of course, losing his mom, he became very emotional but didn't know how to show it. So I feel really bad for men. You guys are taught, well, a lot of you are taught, some of you, I don't want to generalize, I don't know the ratios, but men are taught to be tough. The amount of times that my stepdad would say, "Quit crying, quit being a baby, quit being a baby." Like, my brother was very soft. My brother was very emotional. We used to have very, soft, esoteric conversations, even when we were very, very young. We could sense when our mom was upset. We could sense what it was about. We could sense that it was not safe to run across her path because she was going to punish us. So we would hide together in the closet because we were just both so sensitive to energies. And for that kind of man to lose his top favorite relationship of his mother and not feel safe to share that with anyone is heartbreaking. So for those that come to my comment section to put me down and say mean and nasty things about me, I know that I'm men's biggest supporter, and it's really sad that without knowing anything about me, you choose to come to a channel and say negative things about someone that's probably one of your biggest fans. So so let's back to the questions here. Dave, I don't agree that you should pass on ancestral lineage of meanness to your children. I don't agree with that. No, the house was not clean. No. Let's see. It takes us until 26 to figure it out. Yeah, I think for men, what happens is around 27 years old, for men and for women, something called a Saturn return happens. And I recommend that you Google this so that you can look into this. But from 27 years old to about 30 to 31, your astrology goes back to the exact same placement that it was when you were born. So you kind of have this rebirth that happens again in your 50s, I believe. You have this rebirth where you have this moment around your 27th birthday where you're like, who am I? Literally, who am I? And you have like these like continuous nagging thoughts of, am I who I want to be? Is this who I desire to be? Am I showing up how I want to be? Do I have the career that I want? Do I have the relationships that I want? And for me, that's when I pivoted. That's when I left working for my father after 14 years of neglect and mistreatment. That's why I can vouch for, I know what a Saturn return feels like. And the irony is the last 3 men that I've dated were 27 to 29. And they were all in the middle of their Saturn return. So I could sense that they were like wanting this type of life. They wanted this kind of woman and this kind of relationship, but they weren't quite there yet. They were still working on self. So their insecurity was self, their belief in their capability of being able to receive. And I believe it was because of their mothers. I had heard a little bit about their relationships with their mothers, which is why I'm tying it all together this week. In that, like, I really think that the mothers are to blame for why these men are in the manosphere, and or why they're confused or scared to fall in love, because the relationship that they had with their mother was so tumultuous that it made them feel this like fear of opening up to women as a gender, which is so heartbreaking, because I know men want love from women. I know men want these beautiful relationships. I know men want that. But instead, a lot of them are masquerading in this manosphere because partially, I don't know, there's a multitude of reasons why. I can't just say one specifically, but partially because they don't feel deserving. Partially, they feel so belittled by the home that they grew up in. I can speak from experience. I felt so low vibrational and so undeserving that for a decade I dated garbage dumpster fires, because that's how I felt about myself. Because I had been in a home where I had parents, I'm talking plural parents, that made me feel like I didn't have value. So thank you, Richard. Oh, I love that, Richard. Thank you. I'm so glad that you could join. Richard's thanking me for Sunday service and for me sharing my care and kindness. And then it means a lot to hear from me. That means a lot to hear from you. So thank you for saying that. Okay, let's see. There's so many haters here. Yoda, feel free to permanently ban these people if it allows you to. I'm gonna do that later. Yeah, old angry boss, most parents downplay it because God forbid they take accountability and responsibility for their own actions. Because like their parents did worse to them. So you should be so lucky that they're doing less than their parents did. And again, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak on this from experience. I think that's for a while why I was afraid to have kids, because in my 30s, I knew I wasn't healthy enough to have a healthy child. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to not damage my child. And I did the healthy, mature choice, I think, in not spreading my sadness and anger and procreating. And I know that a lot of people judged me for it. They, were like, oh, look at her, she's so old, she's never been married, she's never had kids. But like, I did that as a proper human, knowing that I wasn't proper to have a success with providing a safe space for a baby. So if anything, I did one of the most selfless things. Even though I want a child, I worked on myself to prepare a safe environment for my future child. So if anything, I'm a fucking queen, okay? So like, anybody that says otherwise is a retard. We get to say that word now. So let's see. Oh, I went too far back because I'm rereading things. I don't see a lot of value in these comments. That's why I ignore them. I'm so sorry, Turtle family, that you lost your angel. Yes, Blazer, exactly. I'm really focused on my health right now, and I think that's why I'm not dating, because I really need to put 100% effort into getting myself healthy and happy. I mean, I recently did Prolon for 5 days, which is a fasting mimicking diet. So I really wasn't eating, and the food that I was eating was not triggering. It was like low FODMAP kind of food. And I went down 2 dress sizes because you guys know I was doing hauls on this channel for a really long time, and I got to the point where I couldn't put on clothes. None of clothes 2 sizes bigger weren't fitting me because I had this like parasite overgrowth in my lower stomach. And within 5 days of doing this fast, I shrunk back down to my normal size, which is why I know I'm not fat. I have a parasite overgrowth. And curing parasites is a bitch, and it's a long road. It's a journey, but it's the journey that I have to take because it was making me exhausted. I was having brain fog. I was napping multiple times a day. I was very depressed. Like, parasites are consuming all your nutrients. They're like taking you down. So that has to be my priority right now, which is why I know I'm not able to find the partnership that I'm desiring because I'm not healthy yet. Again, so you have to be healthy here, you have to be healthy here, you have to be healthy here, you have to be healthy like all over to call in a healthy relationship. So for the men that like to, go into the comments section and say that there's something wrong with someone, then that's why they're single. There's something wrong with pretty much everyone. So whatever T fever, 5 years of celibacy. Women are difficult. I'm not going to say both genders are perfect, but as a woman, I see things and receive things from men that a woman really wouldn't say to a man. So I speak from experience in that women are very angry and bitter because a lot of women are being mistreated a lot. So it's not appropriate for women to take things out on the next man they see. They're doing it. They're absolutely doing it. And they're shitheads for doing that to you. I agree. But the way, like, I posted something about FIFA and how I found this like player cute. And this man literally says, would you let him, check his fingers? Like, on the feed, the public feed. Like, that's so disturbing that a man would ask me in a public forum if I would let. So women are being spoken to in a way that makes us so fed up with the male species, and it's just being amplified by this manosphere. And I'm trying to create a safe space that doesn't resemble that, because I think men had a really rough go in the fact that they were taught to not cry like a baby and be tough. And then they get into a relationship and a woman's like, tell me your feelings. Tell me how, whatever. I need water. I'll be right back. Hold on one second. Oh, there's a glaring comment. Tom, yes, I did find religion. I absolutely found religion. My father was an atheist. He told me when I was 10 years old that there was no God, just like there's no Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. And that the Bible was a made up fake story and God wasn't real. And I was just sitting there on the floor thinking, I didn't need to know Santa wasn't real. And I don't even know, I also feel like no one can tell you about your relationship with God. I don't think there's a single person on this planet that can tell you what your beliefs and what your thoughts and what your feelings should be. I think you have free will. I think you have body autonomy. I think that this is your reality in this video game of life, and that you get to choose the programming that you have here. And your environment, the people, places, things, the foods, the music, everything that you consume is programming here. So I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. Have I read the Bible? Yes, I went to 2 religious colleges and I had to take multiple Bible studies classes. And something that really bewildered me that I still don't think sits right with me is I asked my teacher at one point, if Adolf Hitler on his deathbed said, God, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I repent for my sins, does he get to go to heaven? And my teacher goes, yes. And I was like, well, that's fucked up. So I don't know. Religion's a little weird to me. Do I think that there is a heaven and a hell? I think we're living on it. I think it's earth. I think if you have a healthy mindset, you're in a heaven. And I think if you have a dark, negative, self-limiting belief, you're in hell. So I think heaven and hell are literally here. So I don't think you have to go to a separate place to experience both. You experience them here on earth. Yes, men don't use soap. 15 years, that's a long time to be celibate. The gym is like a bar for dating. We were talking about options for dating. I'm reading the comment section. I don't want to poop where I eat. Like I find a lot of men very attractive at my gym. I like a man that takes care of himself. I go to the gym every day. Going to the gym is the highlight of my day, right? I get to get some eye candy in. But I would be uncomfortable. I'm a little energy, whatever, if I were to share vulnerability with a man and like intimacy, and then it doesn't work, and then he's at my gym. I would need a new gym, and I don't want to have to get a new gym. So I don't date. I know, is he a priest? I'm wondering the same thing. Yoda, please delete. You can block people. I don't know, Yoda, if it gives you permission to do that, but old angry boss says bars suck. Those times are over. It's for childish people mainly. It really is. But where else do you meet people? Like, I get dressed up for the grocery store. Trust. Like yesterday, I put on a cute little white skirt. I had like this gold shiny top. Like my door people were like, you look good. Where are you going? I said, I'm going to the Whole Foods. Because you never know. Like, I'm always dressed to impress, honey. Okay. Thank you, Vernon. I radiate confidence now, which is why I am writing books, which is why I am doing public speaking, because to come from the depths of hell where I was to now, like people that haven't seen me in 2-3 years, they're like, your whole vibration is different. Like literally you look like a different human being. Like you're glowing. That's what I hear on the regular. So I'm here to share that journey and that knowledge and whatever. Let's see. Do you think the gym is toxic, Blazer? I don't know. Prince Charming doesn't exist. And if he did exist, he'd be gay. Let's see. It's actually a workout set. Thank you. You are I hate wasting time blocking people while I'm going on the live, but I can't talk and block people at the same time. But like, I really want to block all of these comments. Like, someone trying to tell me that I'm narcissistic is like the biggest joke ever. Like, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. I feel like I should just scroll to the bottom, but I don't want to ignore anything nice that someone has said. Yes, Yoda, keep giving out advice. I love that. Let's see. There's just so many manosphere people. I don't know why. I don't know why my algorithm brings me manosphere people. Thank you. Zeke says, keep that head up. Always stay positive. Nothing but respect and love your way. Right back at you. I appreciate you. Nikki, I don't remember what you're commenting to because you said they probably have no chance. It's insecurity. Honestly, nobody knows if they have a chance until they talk to me. I'm really like the last 3 men that I've dated have been former nerds that grew up without a lot of friends, that in their late 20s, one of them that I dated, our brothers passed away the same month and the same year. And that inspired him to go into the Marines. So obviously he had a whole different physique that what he had grown up. And on our first date, I'll never forget, he showed me a picture of himself on his 18th birthday. And it was this young, skinny, kind of nerdy guy. And he was like, that was me. Like, you see me now, but that was me. And I loved that so much because younger Lisa was like such a mess. So I totally got how like he wanted me to see both sides of him. I thought that was like so beautiful. And then I went to his house and it was full of history books. Like, he was a total history nerd. He had been very famous streaming video games. Like, I'm a gamer. So you don't really know if I'm gonna like you until you talk to me. So that's what I don't understand is like men don't even talk. And the men that do talk to me like these manosphere idiots that are in the comments section because they are confident for whatever reason. They shouldn't be confident. No bed frame is gross. I agree. Broken men don't have beds. I love that. Jeff, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Your jawline is fire. Thank you. I just did a fast, so she's extra tight. I don't know what I'm oblivious to. Let's see. What are the minimum conditions that a man must fulfill in order to suit you? For me, he has to be confident. He has to be, in walking around in society, draw attention, looks, conversations, photos, they happen. And a man next to me has to be confident that I'm not going to leave him, which I think a lot of men struggle with because a lot of men know how men are. And I think that that's something a lot of men that date me struggle with because when we're out in public, they can feel the attention from men that I'm getting, and it makes them feel very nervous about themselves. So I think for me, that's the number one. The most confident relationship that I had, the man that I thought recently I was going to marry, was former ex-French militia and was a professional bodyguard to people like Jay-Z and Beyonce. And like, that man could kill someone with his thumb. And we would walk through Paris together and he would be like, honey, everyone looks at you. And he's been with like Jennifer Aniston, Zendaya, like he's bodyguarded for like very famous people. And he was like, everyone looks at you. And that's the magnetism that I'm talking about. I don't say that with ego, but I say like when you heal yourself, when you love yourself. I love myself. That is not narcissistic. Narcissistic is when I love myself and I put you beneath me. It's when I think that I'm better than you. But I'm literally here sharing with you publicly that I think you're as equal as me and I want to help you get to my level. So this manosphere mumbo jumbo is whatever. They do have libraries. Oh my God, I have a library card. I am not barefoot. I'm constantly in socks, even in the summer. Marco Antonio Olivo, gracias. Oh, I assume you're Mexican. I'm sorry. I should have said thank you. I didn't see your question, John, so I don't know how to answer you. Let's see here. Hypnotherapy is a real thing. Science also said that the vaccine was good for you. So is science always right? I'm going to challenge your question on that. I am unvaccinated. I did not put the vaccine in my body. My body, my choice. And yeah. Thank you, Old Angry Boss. Thank you, Jeff. I've never done ketamine. I've done bufo. I've done ayahuasca twice. I've done bufo twice. And I've done Cambo. Cambo is where they put the toad venom. They like burn a hole and they put the venom on you and you like whatever. All of them were very healing and I highly recommend. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, the person that you see today is not who I was many years ago, so it's good to be her. Lots of blocked comments here. Yeah, a lot of people suffer from parasites. I personally think our tap water has parasites. And for me, I had cleared the parasites. I'd spent 2020, when my mom passed away, I started drinking a lot and drinking coffee at the same time. And it like was so acidic that it burned my internal situations. And I had SIBO, H. pylori, pancreatitis, and my doctor said I was close to getting pancreatic cancer. So I quit drinking and coffee in like basically the same 6 months. And I got really healthy and my body recovered. And then I went to South America for 3 months and Bali for a month. And of course, came home with my hair falling out, could barely stay awake. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, must be my medication. My medication must be off. No, I had picked up probably multiple parasites. And now it's a year and a half later and I've just now figured it out. So we're working. We just cleared the molds last year. I had 13 different molds growing in me. And now I just have, I believe, 2. So I'm going to retest this week and we'll see. Yeah, Dave, I bet you had a moment in your life where you were ignoring your intuition and you maybe have gotten yourself sick from that. So I would maybe get tested. Hold on, I gotta adjust this back up here. It slides down. I suction the phone onto my computer and it slowly slides down as the live goes on. I do have to get going in a little bit. I know it's late, so I'm going to stay a little bit longer, but I won't be listening to a man that calls himself Harriet Cock. Let's see. There's just like a lot of weird banter. Because men don't share, it's weak to share. Exactly. Men are taught it's weak to share, share their feelings. And I also think women are taught, don't let the bullies get to you. Don't let them see you cry. So all of us in grade school are taught, like, don't let the bullies see you hurting. And in the moment, it is good to not let someone see that they're hurting you. But the missing step that isn't explained is you then go home and you process the emotions instead of suppressing. And I think in a lot of relationships and, life events, a traumatic thing happens and we just like brush it to the side or we stuff it down. And then it like a mattress spring will like slap you in the face one day. It'll just like snap back. James, you're blocked. Yeah, Yoda, what you do is you hide user from channel. So if you have the ability to hide user from channel, that blocks all future comments. Thank you, Yoda. Let's do a round of applause. Let's do a moment for Yoda, because Yoda's the GOAT. I will vanquish your comments. Vanquish them, yes. I love that. You just had to kiss a few frogs until you find your Luke. Luke's coming in. Luke, how old are you? Like 26, boo-boos. It's not. You got your Saturn return. Until you're 31, you haven't cleared Saturn return, boo-boos. Hello to Italy. Dave, I'm so glad you're not a hater. Chef Robert M. I'm actually 43. I'm not in my 30s. I'm 43. Yeah, see, running amok. That's exactly when you don't have the kids. I think kids are meant to kind of force you to look in the mirror, because I think kids are our greatest teacher, which is why I definitely want a child, because I want not only to have the euphoric experience, like spiritual moment of birthing something, like making something inside of my body and then magic portal delivering it into humanity. Like, that sounds like the coolest shit ever. So, but I wanted to make sure I was healthy to receive this human, you know? Vanquish, yes. Health is wealth. Luke, exactly. Mike, thank you. Yoda, thank you. It's so good to be out of the fast. I am still only eating rice and salmon or potatoes and steak. I'm eating super clean for the parasites. Dave, took his training, the rest messed me up so bad. I went from being poor but knowing I was loved to my dad and stepmom not knowing she would use it as a weapon. I don't know what you're referring to, but I'm sorry that you were mistreated. Yeah, I spent time in Indonesia, and the food in Indonesia, in my opinion, is I did not find anything tasty. So I was constantly starving. I stayed at a very nice Marriott for 3 weeks in the jungle, and I would have the same foods every day. Breakfast was my favorite dish because it had the most American dishes, like eggs and shishuk. Well, shishuk is not American, but you know, like eggs. I just love eggs. Like the dinner and like their version of food, like they eat guinea pig in Peru, you guys. Like, no, I tried it. Of course I did. Of course I'm gonna try it. Yeah, Dave, exactly. I can relate to all of that. Do I believe in a spirit body? I don't quite know what that means. I do believe in mind, body, spirit. Yoda knows. Yoda knows. I am in Chicago, Mike. Don't look up the manosphere. Don't Google it. Oh, cool. That's cool. Where in Michigan? I used to know someone from Ludington. Bye, Dave. Hi to all the new people joining. I am not looking to snuggle a strange man. Thank you, David. Oh, it's a star. So sweet. Day Monate 3309. Yeah, I used to talk to disrespectful men because my father was a disrespectful man, so my programming was attracted vibrationally to disrespectful men because that's, to me, as a child, what love looked like. But I've recently recalibrated my vibration, and that's why I'm celibate, because now men like that make me bleh. Like literally when I'm out in public and I see a couple and there's like a girl with this like man and he's like not treating her very well and she's asking for help and he's like ignoring her, I literally will make that noise and make that face because I'm so disgusted. And if the girl looks at me, I'll be like, sis, come, like, and I will have a talk to her. I am not ashamed to save a sister because it is trash out there. Supertramp, I'm so sorry. It sounds like a lot. I hope you find peace and healing soon. Carter Wayne, yes, my standards are very high. They should be very high. I provide a very quality life. Why would I not have high standards? The biggest question I get is how I can be, I don't know, those aren't full sentences. I don't know how to read that. I am not a mom to anything. I don't, plants. I used to have dogs. Hi, I don't know how to say your name. These some of the weirdest comments. But we got some good content for me to splice up for Jeff. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We appreciate it. I'm in Bali, live in Bali. I'm a Brit though. You know how I feel about Brits. You know, the bugs too. Like every day at sunset, I was running to my hotel room and I would live in my hotel room for the rest of the day because I have that blood type that bugs love. So they would literally like carry me away. So Magoo, what's up? Good morning. I'm still in the process of clearing parasites, but how you clear parasites is by taking herbs like black walnut and like all kinds of very heavy, harsh things that like kills. You have to kill the 3 stages, right? The eggs, the babies, and the big mammagemmas. And oh, I have chills. It's disgusting to think that I have that living inside of me. The chills that I have, the goosebumps. Oh my gosh. I probably will not go back to South America. It's just my body is not strong enough right now for that. I actually was thinking about going to Glastonbury in the UK, and it's a very old town and it's very wet and damp. And I was talking to my Claude AI and I was like, hey, is it safe for me to stay in a hotel in Glastonbury? Because like I feel like there's probably a lot of mold in it. I was like, you cannot, with the way that your body is, you should not ever stay in older castles or hotels or like places that are more than like 10 years old, because like it will just make me sick. I am not from Guatemala. I don't know why Yoda said that. Thank you, Jeff. What a sweet gift. I'm definitely American. Oh, it doesn't give you the power. Okay, now I know. Now I know. No kids. I do not have a husband either. No, it's not risky. I've actually had my hormones and my uterus and all that checked out. And I'm actually the age of like a 31-year-old down there. So it's actually the sperm that goes bad if you Google the recent research and findings. I know I'm not like a huge believer in science, but sometimes science has things to say that are important. And it does tend to say lately that the men's sperm is what's causing issues. So yeah. Hi, Estelle. Don't be shy, Estelle. We need more ladies here. We need ladies represent. Hey, Johannesburg, South Africa. Jake, did you see my Instagram regarding the FIFA soccer team for South America or South Africa? Sorry, I got South America stuck on the brain. I did, Jay being Jay. I did save myself by not having kids younger. I absolutely did. I do. It's not $10,000 for an 8-hour session. I charge $1,000 for an hour. But the $10,000 on my website is for a 3-day, like multiple hours. So if an hour is $1,000, 3 days would make sense that it's 10,000. Okay, cool. I'm all caught up on the comments. We're gonna end on Luke calling me the best. Thank you so much for joining. Yoda, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the gifts, the stars. I really appreciate it. I do. I believe in everything. I believe in anything. I believe in all of things. And I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful rest of your week. And just a warning, a lot of astrologists have been saying, and I've said this on a couple of my lives, that the planets are going to get really messy at the end of this week. And on 4th of July specifically, there's going to be a very weird event happening in America. I don't know what it's going to be. This is not fear-mongering. I'm just telling you to be careful, be safe, and that I love you. Bye for now.